Hey everyone, Adam Beck here from HardcoreGamer.com, and today we're taking a look at Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. We were invited down to take a sneak peek at the new expansion and want to give a quick overview of some of the jobs. We have a couple of videos for the different classes, but this is for the magical ranged DPS. This includes Summoner, Black Mage, and Red Mage, with the new Pictomancer class being a part of a video on its own. Getting right into it, Summoner. This is one of the few classes that received a huge rework in Endwalker, and for Dawntrail, there's barely anything to speak of. The only major addition to the formula is Solar Bahamut. How Summoner currently works is that you go between the Bahamut phase and the Phoenix phase every minute, with Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan fillers in between. With Solar Bahamut, it becomes the new 2-minute burst, with Bahamut and Phoenix phases being every other minute. So you start with Solar Bahamut, move into the regular Bahamut, then back into the Solar Bahamut, move into Phoenix, and repeat. Everything else in between stays the same, right down to the Ruined Forest and Festers, which has now become Necrotize. Solar Bahamut also has an AoE heal for the party, and Searing Light has a follow-up attack called Searing Flash. As you can see, Summoner mostly remains the same, although there might be some concerns over downtime now that Solar Bahamut is much more powerful than the other summons. Moving on to the other original caster, Black Mage. The class I originally made 10 years ago, Black Mage actually picked up the most changes out of all the casters this expansion. Without doubt, the most important addition to Black Mage is Retrace, the ability to move your ley lines. This has been sought after for years, but finally we're able to mitigate poorly placed ley lines, at least for a single instance. On top of that, we now have a new Astral Gauge, where you're able to collect Astral Souls every time a Fire 4 is used. When 6 souls are collected, Black Mages are able to unleash their level 100 skill, Flare Star. Surprisingly, this attack does a lot less damage than we expected, only doing a little bit more than a single Fire 4. Also, it should be noted that the gauge does reset when going into the Umbral phase, so it's meant to reward players for not messing up their rotation. Outside of this, Sharpcast has been removed, and there are new slightly more powerful Thunder abilities. Paradox is also only available under Astral Fire, with its use under Umbral Ice being removed. Overall, we are quite pleased with what we saw with Black Mage. Finally, we have Red Mage, the job I made for most of Endwalker and Shadowbringers. Red Mage actually picked up a couple of surprising changes, but for the most part, it isn't going to be that different from how it already is. It sits in between Summoner and Black Mage in this regard. The main attraction is the fact Manification no longer hands out 50 red and black mana. Instead, it simply allows a melee combo to be used without the cost of any gauge. This has been a point of contention even from the beginning of Red Mage's life, with Manification originally just doubling your gauge, and then in Endwalker it was changed to just hand out 50 mana instead. This should alleviate some of the issues with overcapping, but to be honest, it was kind of difficult to do this to begin with. We do wish there was a better indicator for when this is active, but really if you press Manification, it's likely you're going to be going into a melee combo immediately anyways. Past this, Acceleration turns the newly added Jolt 3 into an instacast skill, Grand Impact, something that can be banked for 30 seconds. As for its burst, we fully expected Square to simply tack on another skill at the end of the melee combo, but to our surprise, they didn't. Instead, Manification will change into Incineration after 6 stacks are used, and Embolden will become a Vice of Thorns. And the best part of them? They're weaves. In the end, Red Mage got more than we expected it to get, although if you thought its 2 minutes was busy enough, well, expect more weaving. And that covers the casters in Final Fantasy XIV. We think Black Mage and Red Mage picked up some good additions, but Summoner is a little lacking. But what do you think? Anyways, be sure to check out our other Dawntrail videos detailing the other jobs. Otherwise, for everything Final Fantasy XIV and gaming related, head on over to hardcoregamer.com for your fix.